Hello, and welcome to our next tutor session on factoring algebraic terms. Today we'll be introduced to the principles of factorization of algebraic expressions. Let's begin. So let's talk about the basic rules that we use when we factorize algebraic expressions. In our last lesson, we harped on finding common factors. So the first step is to find common factors. By now, I know you know how to find factors that are common to two algebraic terms or more. So the next step is, after you have found the common terms, let's say we have an algebraic expression written as 4x, so 4x minus 28. Okay, so what's common to 4x and to 28? We know 4x is 4 times x, and we know 28 is 4 times 7. So we see that there is 4 in 4 times x, and there's also 4 in 4 times 7. So 4 is a common factor. So we identify here and that the common factor is 4. Okay, so now we want to place this common factor outside in a bracket. So we're going to write 4 outside of a bracket, and then we write the 4x minus 28 within the bracket as well. We're not done. So the next step is you want to divide each term by the common factor. So remember, we've written 4 into 4x minus 28, and then you divide each of the terms, that's 4x and negative 28, by 4. So divided by 4, divided by 4. Okay, so now you're going to, after you cancel out whatever is left, you leave it in the bracket. So let's cancel out 4 in 4, that is 1. 4 in 28, that is 7. So what do we have left? So we have 4 outside of the bracket, and we have x minus 7. So these are the steps which you need to follow when you are trying to factorize algebraic expressions. Now let's look at a few examples. First is you want to find what are the common factors. So first, what is 3x? 3x is the same as 3 times x. What about 12? 12 is the same as what? 3 times 4. So here we see that number 3 is common to both of them. So the common factor for these two is 3. Okay, now we know the common factor. So what do we do to the common factor? The next step is factorization is actually a process whereby we introduce brackets. I need to tell you that. So factorization is a process of introducing brackets to algebraic expressions. So we're going to introduce a bracket. So we're going to write 3, which is a common factor, outside of a bracket. And what do you write within the bracket? We write the terms, the two terms that we are working on within the bracket, 3x minus 12. And then we also go to the next step and divide each of these terms by the common factor, which is 3 and 3. Okay, so next step, you want to cancel out the common, what is common in the numerator and the denominator. So 3 is common, so we cancel out the 3. 3 here is 1, 3 there is 4. So what do we have left over? 3 is into bracket x minus 4. So our when we factorize 3x minus 12, what we have is 3 into bracket x minus 4. Remember, factorization is the process of introducing brackets into algebraic expressions. In this second example, we are asked to factorize fully. Okay, so when you are asked to factorize fully, it means that you must leave it in the simplest possible form, such that you are no longer able to factorize anything out of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So remember, the first thing you want to do is that we want to find what is common to all the terms. So here, how many terms do we have? We have the first term, the second term, and the third term. So we want to find what is common to the 3. So first, let's check out the factors. So 6p squared q. The factors here are what? 2 times 3 times p times q. What about 12pq squared? The factors here are 2 times 3 times p times q. What about 9p squared q squared? Okay, that is 3 times 3 times p times q times q. Okay, so now let's identify what is common, or what are common to the 3 of them. So is 2 common to the 3 of them? No. Is 3 common to the 3 of them? Yes. So we see that there's 3 in 3 of them, so we write 3 out. Then is p common to the 3 of them? Yes. So times p. Is the second p common to the 3 of them? No. This one has 2 p's, this one has 1 p, this one has 2 p's. So it's not. What about q? Is q common to the 3 of them? Yes, that's q, and that's q, and that's q. So times q. So now we know that the common factor to the 3 of them is what? 3pq. Now that we know the common factor, we can go ahead and try to factor these out. So remember, we want to write the new factor outside of a bracket. So what do we write? 3pq outside of a big bracket, and then we write 6p squared q, 6p squared q divided by 3pq plus 12pq squared divided by 3pq minus 9p squared q squared divided by 3pq. Okay, so the q cancels out, the p cancels one of them, we are left with 1. So, and the 3, we are left with 2. So what we are left here is 2p, right? Okay, what about here? The p cancels the p, the q cancels one of the q, the 3 here is 4. Okay, so what we are left there with is what? 4q. Okay, and here the p cancels one of the p, and the q cancels one of the q, so, and the 3 goes to 9 3 times. So what we have there is 3pq. Okay, so now we can write it as 3pq into 2p plus 4q minus 3pq. Okay, so now we have successfully factorized 6p squared q plus 12pq squared minus 9p squared q squared. Remember, I said that when you have an algebraic expression like x minus 1 or x plus 2 and so on, or any letter plus a number, we usually regard them as a composite structure or composite algebraic term, and so we can regard them as factors. Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at this example. Factorize a into a plus b minus a plus b. Okay, so let's write this as, we can remember this is same as a into a plus b minus 1 into a plus b. So that's the first thing you want to recognize, that the a plus b after the negative sign has a coefficient of 1. Okay, because if you don't do that, you're going to have some problems. Okay, so what are the factors that are common on either side of the negative sign? So on the left side of the negative sign, there is a plus b. On the right side of the negative sign, there is a plus b. So the common factor here is what? a plus b. So we're going to write a plus b outside. Let's write it in a bracket outside a bigger bracket. So, and then we have a into a plus b divided by a plus b minus 1 into a plus b divided by a plus b. Now you close the bracket. Now we can cancel out what factors we find in the numerator and the denominator. So a plus b cancels out a plus b, a plus b cancels out a plus b. So what do we have left over? So this is a plus b into a minus 1. Okay, a plus b into a minus 1. What about this one? You want to pause the video and try this? Go ahead. Okay, now that you have tried this, let's see how you can solve this. So the first thing you want to do is that look at the factor, look at the algebraic expression on the left side of the positive sign, that is a minus b into a plus b, and then you look at the algebraic expression on the left and the right side of the positive sign 4 into a plus b. So what's common to these two? We see that a plus b is common, so we're going to take a plus b as the common factor. So a plus b is the common factor. We write it outside a larger bracket. So a minus b into a plus b divided by a plus b. Okay, plus 4 into a plus b divided by a plus b. Okay, don't forget the larger bracket. So now we cancel out what is common. So a plus b cancels out a plus b, a plus b cancels out a plus b. So with what do we have left? So a plus b into bracket a minus b plus 4. Okay, so we can write this as a plus b into brackets a minus b plus 4. So importantly, you want to be able to identify the common factors between two or more algebraic terms, and that is very primary if you want to factor algebraic expressions. And then you want to make sure you write the common factor outside the bracket, and then you divide the terms that are found within the bracket by the common factor. You write out whatever is left over within the inside of the bracket, and don't forget to write the common factor outside the bracket. That's it on factorization of algebraic expression part 2. Thank you for watching.